France. The France President Emmanuel Macron ejabo bi ase Nairobi University na abra speaker bi kasa anode ne nsemi to dwa no na chese ase dede bi kakra wo honom nti osori ma ma no kire na adwen say this is a sign of disrespect when jobu okra say speaker bi kasa was say podium auditorium ho ye din na nyina yetie dia speaker no or chere nti ye videos na beton mountain so ye nkonkohwe kwan a ofa so ye sei.
Already? You're not waiting your turn.
And we make order. Excuse me, everybody. Hey. I'm sorry, guys. But it's impossible to speak about culture to have...
So then.
Already? You're not waiting your turn.
And we make order. Excuse me, everybody. Hey. I'm sorry, guys. But it's impossible to speak about culture, to have people like that super inspired coming here, making a speech with such a noise. So this is a total lack of respect. So I suggest, if you want to have bilaterals or speak about somebody else, something else, you have bilateral rooms or you go outside. If you want to stay here, we listen to the people. And we play in the same game, okay? Thank you.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is called leadership.
So that was the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. Wakopie ejabo bi ase. Ase dede kakra bi wo auditorium honum sorry ya o kire say o pese oni obi di nkomo anase you want to engage in some sort of bilateral conversation and communication. Wait me apie any kwan say speaker bi kasa yetna honum na kire say yeye dede. It's a sign of disrespect. So that is that's from Emmanuel Macron. Yet what's not that's of France and not just say France are hosting the first African summit. Now summit when you are to say Africa Forward Summit. When you hear a lot of allegations about a lot of controversies about as far as issues in the Sahel states are concerned. We know France to be part of the Sahel states, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. But I say yes, you feed this Sahel states. It's more a Camille is a France for the per se countries, we to say Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, they strengthen ties for the purpose of trade, a whole lot of issues. And also Aberton Mountain. So and to some way or planning say obe hosting a very big African Forward Summit in Krofabetre or Madrin ewo. There is a video to this. Yen konkoshe in Sembi AFA Summit
President Emmanuel Macron says that this is about coming to the table as equal partners, and he did address also those coups d'etats in Mali, in Burkina Faso, and in Niger.
You have three countries, and I do regret that, which decided because of the coup and the behaviors of the military people in charge to put them aside from the rest of the club, by the way, aside of ECOWAS as well and others. It doesn't mean that West Africa is not part of this meeting. The biggest leaders of Western Africa will be here.
The leaders of Cote d'Ivoire, of Senegal, of other Francophone countries are still here, but those three Sahel nations have formed their own group, the Alliance of Sahel States, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and they are very anti-Western in their outlook. They have embraced Russia for security support. They look to China, and it's part of the reason why Emmanuel Macron is here with this delegation of French business is to make sure that they're reaching out beyond their traditional connections in Francophone Africa, and especially as the rest of the continent, really, not just in Francophone Africa, starts to be alive to this colonial baggage and trying to chart a new path. Many view China and Russia here quite favorably, and so countries like France and the UK and the US are having to come up against that and make sure that what are you offering. The name of the summit is interesting. It's something that President Ruto of Kenya likes to say when he's asked, are you facing east or west? He likes to say, we're facing forward. And that's the name of the summit here, Africa Forward Summit. But it's really a France-Africa summit, Ivan.
Larry, thanks so much for that update, and I'm sure you'll keep us posted on how African leaders respond to Macron's outreach there. Thank you very much. Live from Nairobi, Larry Mado.
That was updates from France and updates around the France President Emmanuel Macron. Now, France are planning or kick off the 2-day African Forward Summit. A whole lot of controversies as far as this summit is concerned, particularly France's relation to the Sahel states, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Some media almost say it's more or less like France, but some strengthen ties with the other parts of the Sahel states, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. In Crawford, it's more or less like the first of its kind. Almost an English-speaking country, Kenya. It's the first time who be safe from France hosting a 2-day summit. Africa Forward Summit. Baby hosted to say an English-speaking country Kenya. So that is that from Emmanuel Macron. Some media said they have kicked off the summit Omasha Sekra Enyasem Ketwakra. Yet also concern from one go straight into the camp of a 7 medical staff sanctioned Efa Charles Amy Sani Wono. Somewhere around last week committee almost certified Charles Amy Sani Wono. It's for Bekaya and I for Bekaya na some months back and I into yes a 29-year-old Charles Emisa around circle overpass between a truck and then a private car saloon car be crashima Charles Emisa shredding kwaya ya didn't call a number of hospitals Accra has say ya it came out say no birth syndrome. And the medical team of Ghana, they had to set a committee. So probing into it now. Who the cause of the death of Charles Emisa. So on your screens you're trying to say 7 medical staff sanctioned over failure to attend to Charles Emisa in a life-threatening condition, leading to his avoidable death. Committee in the death of Charles Emisa, it is something that could have been avoided. So, sir, in Crawford 7 the committee so no I say 7 medical staff sanctioned. You sanctioned 7 medical staff. They have something in relation to the death of Charles Emisa. I'm trying to say medical negligence and buapoyo binti na say almost share Heinz Charles Emisa ewu yaya at age 29. The chair of the committee Dr. Mark. The chair of the health committee, Dr. Mark Nawani, or then some Abeton Mountain, so ultra say, so Oshana se wintimi health jumana and health related stuff, so your doctor or your nurse, midwife, now Oshana say, wintimi say jumana, Osha resigning. You don't have to continue to be in the space. Say, hospital say you are supposed to look or take care of patients. Not medical negligence. Not a one and crofo. Or then send be a better mountain. So, ye be kwa kutie near or the better mountain. So, the chair of the committee, health committee, I friend of Dr. Mark Nawani or no chra not just say, and ye no birth syndrome. Biana eku Charles Emisa. Or making connection to the recent death of a pregnant woman, she had to be in labor for 36 hours. All famous training, and some more training say with health practitioners. No, so emotional say, to me your way Juma and I say Juma no more. They are not forcing them to continue to be working as health professionals. Omo resigning na ewu na torrencha mahora yen saka and I say yet other health facilities no etobe brass kakra nti yen konko tiensem bia owura Mark Nawani editon Mountain so efa.
We are saying that it is beyond just the facility. It is the individuals. And please, if you are a medical professional and you are tired of the work, probably you have to, you can resign. I'm telling you. Ghana will survive. You have, if you are ready to work, please, there are ethics. If you can't do something, you call your colleague doctor, your senior doctor. And one funny thing about doctors is that, the senior doctors, is that they are always happy to be called. Once a junior doctor calls a senior doctor, they are ready to run and come and help. It's something that in my 33 years of practice, I realized that whenever you want help from a doctor you call, a colleague doctor calls that person, you run and come and help. This should not have happened. This has nothing to do with no bed syndrome, but that was the name that was given to it. And that was probably the investigation or the referral that was given to the committee. And it has happened at Kaswa, where somebody who has been admitted, he has spent 36 hours there and they are saying no bed. Has he been lying on the floor all that time that there was no bed at the recovery ward? Do you need to do a cesarean section and send the person automatically or compulsorily to a recovery ward?
So that was the chair of the health committee, Dr. Mark Nawani. Or try not to say we a health professional, not to say ejuma no shawa bra. You have the opportunity to resign. You can't be at post not to say we won't at renchem or be to say Charles any sani wo ya win. It could have been avoided. Or try not to say it is medical negligence. Just on the side of health professionals. Some more in Shanghai, I'm a same way. ACC were health facilities. And see, that's the summary of what he's trying to say. Utimi who are one asifim nenum kasemu. Or say no medical practitioner for close to 33 years. So to the say the case be brought not to say bro so and I say more dinka kramawa. You can call senior professionals na waka trom say oh when they say bro me so kakra when you mentiase when they say ni hu bi da they'll be able to guide you. They'll be glad say omobeboa na what service our issues nya dia then to your health professionals and media. This is coming from the health committee chair at the mouth Dr. Mark our say so as a health Ejumano untumi as a nurse, as a midwife, as a doctor, you have the opportunity to resign. Not Koswaka Charles Amy Sanhua Sema not just say and chai and I say around circle over pass no track and saloon car be money omo akwan fa na akwan no omukuni ya fi omukuni wiye they had to run. And then it was a hit and run sort of people around had to hold him on for some time and sana yedini chinyako hospitals ahodo owu krakra ye konsem foforo so anachese right now it's like a new trend yare bia ba be pin mountain so yare bia be pin mountain so aye huhu kakra ase bi mo ka se is it coronavirus or is it the second coming of Ebola? Is it related to coronavirus and a whole lot of issues? Some yare when the near furniture say Hantavirus. Oshe screen see so say Hantavirus is an infectious. It's an infection caused by a group of viruses that spread to humans through exposure to infected urine, saliva, and droppings from rodents. Sa yare when the dia oben be nyaw nemo it is from rodents ye mice mouse squirrels nya dia say we get in touch with their omu janan omu jonso omu saliva you are likely to have this kind of virus. And see, Usha, symptoms are so when you say will be experience be chills, fever, utibayo yakakra, oberrington, or abdominal pain.
This is not coronavirus. This is a very different virus We know this virus. Hantaviruses have been around for quite a while. There's a lot of detail that we know. I'm going to ask Anais to come in and say this, but I want to be unequivocal here. This is not SARS-CoV-2. This is not the start of a COVID pandemic. This is an outbreak that we see on a ship. There's a confined area. We have 5 confirmed cases so far. We completely understand why these questions are coming, and we are trying to provide all of the information that we can. That's why we're having a press conference here to give accurate information, and we're grateful for all of those out there who are asking these types of questions. But this is not the same situation we were in 6 years ago. It doesn't spread the same way like coronaviruses do. It's very different. It's that close, intimate contact that we've seen. And most hantaviruses don't transmit between people at all. Most hantaviruses are transmitted from rodents or their feces or their saliva, or droppings, to people. And only this one particular virus, the Andes virus, which has been identified here, we've seen some human-to-human transmission. And again, I want to reiterate, the actions that are being taken on board are precautionary to prevent any onward spread. And so there's a lot that is being done right now to be able to try to minimize the risk even further. But I do want Anais to come in and provide a little bit, no? Okay, oh, okay. Thank you.
So that was a senior health professional from World Health Organization, Maria Van, say, some radio not just a hantavirus now, and Kofohuni say it is a second coming of coronavirus. No, it's not in relation to that. When you're a new kind of virus, I shall say, not just say, or say, ubenya sayare when be not just say you are exposed to the urine, Mitra Johnson, droppings, ejana and saliva. If it rodents be to say mines, ne mouse, near the idea. Once you get exposed to Sanyama when they're not just hantavirus, no, there's a likelihood and I said there's a probability say sayare or ubenyebi and I say you be infected by that. Yet once we right still in on issues around hantavirus. The head of the World Health Organization, or the Nsembia Beton Montenswa, or say 8 cases, I'm not confirming 8 cases about hantavirus. I say 5 of them, they are confirming 3 people, they almost suspected, say some profile when your symptoms are say almost virus wing, but 5 day, microphone day, not just a virus, no, almost a na 3 no makane they are still probing, almost suspect say some symptoms near the almost portray no na symptoms of hantavirus or the Nsembia Beton Mountain. So yeah, nkonkotie ni nsem.
8 cases have been reported, including 3 deaths. 5 of the 8 cases have been confirmed as hantavirus, and the other 3 are suspected. Hantaviruses are a group of viruses carried by rodents that can cause severe disease in humans. People are usually infected through contact with infected rodents or their urine, droppings, or saliva. The species of hantavirus involved in this case is the Andes virus, which is found in Latin America and is the only species known to be capable of limited transmission between humans. In previous outbreaks of Andes virus, transmission between people has been associated with close and prolonged contact, particularly among household members, intimate partners, and people providing medical care. That appears to be the case in the current situation. The first case was in a man who developed symptoms on the 6th of April and died on the ship on the 11th of April. No samples were taken, and because his symptoms were similar to those of other respiratory diseases, hantavirus was not suspected. The man's wife went ashore when the ship docked at the island of St. Helena and was also symptomatic. She deteriorated during a flight to Johannesburg on the 25th of April and died the next day. Samples were taken, which were tested at South Africa's National Institute of Communicable Diseases and confirmed as hantavirus. The third death was of a woman on the ship who developed symptoms on the 28th of April and died on the 2nd of May.
So that was Dr. Tedros Oyepeni Ewo World Health Organization. Our ordering some Mountain so say some radio ya confirm 8 cases. 5 of them there omuchra na say hantavirus ne there it has invaded their system all from